Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong. Welcome to the back office teardown lab. We have another kit to play with, and it's a real mystery this time because it doesn't have any instructions at all. So we're just going to have a look at the parts and see if we can figure out what this is. I feel my pad's the wrong way around and the spirals are at the bottom. That's me, all burnt up. You'll see why in one of my other episodes. Okay, so let's sort out all these bits. Lots of little bits of wires, a few ceramic capacitors, a couple of diodes, 4 resistors, all of the same value, which pleases me immensely, and 1 IC. We'll just jump straight in there, shall we? Let's zoom in a bit. You can see what I'm up to. You can see what I'm up to, lad. So this is quite a fascinating kit. I mean, I'm going to guess it's something that would make possibly a noise, but there's a switch here too. Let's get that on. Some sort of noisemaker, perhaps? Does it make a whine? A whine? Is it a natural yogurt eater? Let's have a look. Do you know what that reference is from, by the way, about being a yogurt eater and whine? If you do, please leave that down below. I will be most impressed if you do get that. So that's my holder in place now. Onwards with the switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch is now done. Have a look. Looks good. Holder. Not bad. That's fine. Just going to press down a little bit on the whole PCB while I'm soldering its leg, because that's going to make sure that it lands properly. Oh, went a bit bonkers there. It all went a bit bonkers. That's because you can see there the leg that holds the IC holder actually moved out. So I'm going to cheat a little bit by poking something in there, and I'm going to poke the tweezers in that hole while I solder it. So just push that leg back out. That pin. Come on. You probably can't see this because of the weird angle I have to take, but you can see the end result. It's level again, all in. Let's get these other pins. So I'm enjoying these kits. This is a sort of several in now. To admit, some of them are more successful than others, so went a bit wonky there. I have to admit, some of them are more successful than others, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on with this one. Let's get our diodes in. They can only go in one way, so that's very lucky for us. Diode 1, diode 2. 3 diodes in the pack. I can only see 2 diode. 2 diodes on the actual diagram at the moment. So let's see if maybe one of them's a bulge diode. That's the problem here. You don't have any instructions, and if it happens that they do supply you with a bodge part, you're really stuffed, or a sort of a replacement. It's almost just as bad. Because you know me, I can't read resistor colour bands, so I wouldn't even know I've replaced it with the wrong part. Let's chop those legs off. Watch your eyes. Ha! I've got a floating diode, that's not great. So where could this other diode go? That's the weird thing. Let's leave it aside for now. Fortunately, all the resistors look like they're the same value. So this is an NE555, by the way. Looking at the chip. So it's going to be doing some sort of oscillating. It's definitely going to be making some sort of sound out of this speaker. So we're going to try driving it at sort of a very modest 5 volts when we hook some power up to this, just in case. So I'm quite pleased at the moment. I've finally got an electronics toolchain set up on my PC after many years of not having one. And I've got a whole load of booby boards, that's what they're called, after the blue-footed booby. They're a microcontroller board that I designed many moons ago to be very useful for very many situations, and never got really round to selling them. So I'm going to put a shout out on Twitter for people who want to sort of get involved in that project. I'll put the source code up on GitHub for the firmware. I'm going to put the circuit diagrams in Eagle format, all open source, on a web page when I get around to doing one. And let's see if we can spread the joy, and if I do them, use them in projects in my videos, you'll be able to learn all the cool things you can make with them. And boy, did I used to make a lot of things with them. I wish I actually documented everything, but yeah, that was back in the day before I was interested in YouTube, regrettably. Okay, so that's all our resistors in. That one's not in particularly well, but nah, I don't care. Let's get the big electrolytic in here. This smaller electrolytic. Now, if I was sensible, I would be putting in those ceramic caps, because they're going to be much harder to get in while these electrolytics are sitting around. So why don't I do them all at the same time? These are all 103. By the way, I blocked a hole up with solder there, so I've got to unblock that in a moment. Did you have a look at capacitors? I did a bit of studying on what a capacitor can hold charge-wise, and it's quite interesting. If you had a 1 microfarad what's wrong with me today? If you had a 1 microfarad capacitor, it'd be actually quite a huge one, and it would hold not so much charge. It would hold like a fraction, the tiniest fraction of, say, what an AA cell would even hold. But that's how they work. They're not batteries. Right, so there's all my legs, and I'm just going to tack all of these in because they're all going to need a bit of rework, I can tell, once we get going. Electrolytics. The ceramics. Oh, fumey. I got a load of fumes right in me gob. Yeah, actually, the ceramics happen to all sit rather nicely there. Bit of luck. The electrolytics are going to have to be worked. Get in. Get over there. Get over here. Done. Let's tidy up. Then we can finish these, soldering these legs. Remember, I only tacked, so I've got the other halves to do. Done. So it's come with these bits of sort of jumper wires, and that's because the speaker needs to be hooked up. Well, that's handy though. They're already they're already tinned, or at least pre-stripped. Yep, pre-tinned. How nice. Thank you. Whichever company makes this kit, plus and minus. I think we won't worry about the polarity so much. I'm not going to bother going through the through-hole part for the speakers. I'm just going to tack them straight on the back of the PCB, because it should matter not a jot. Power. See my big hefty power wires. As per usual, I have not done anything with them and not replaced them with smaller gauge wire yet. I am very, very lazy when it comes to this. So I'm just going to trim these down to something a bit more manageable. And And then I can decide next time what would be a good gauge to have as a generic wire. These clearly are capable of holding many amps. Ow! And there's nothing we do requires them. Wire 1 on. Wire 2 on. We have the powers. We have the power. So we've got one diode and a couple of bits of wire left over. Let's put it nicely. There we go. Get all the detritus out of the way. Oh, RIC. Don't think it'll do much without that, will it? Let's pop that in, shall we? Get on, boy. Get on. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's in. Right, punch power supply, setting it to 5 volts. 3, 2, 1. Okay, nothing's going on. Oh, wow. Okay, so above 6 volts it conks out. So I'm guessing we're near our maximum. So I'm going to hold this speaker up to something. So it's kind of a crappy doorbell, basically. Ding, ding. So when you're holding this down, you're charging, I think, one or the other of these caps up. So when you let go, you're hearing the capacitor discharge, and it's affecting probably the timing of the 555 circuit, and that's why it's got a different tone. The reason I'm guessing that, if I push this very quickly, you can hear the second tone is very short too. Well, actually saying that, I'm lying there. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Your guess is as good as mine. I can show you the circuit up close, like. Let's take these wires off so you can see it the right way around. Do do do. Come on, come on. Here we go. So that's the circuit from above. The circuit from above. Nice work, camera. Just the exact moment the camera chose to defocus from it. So there's your 555, and if I show you the back, God, if you were really keen, you could trace this out. Please feel free to leave any comments down below. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. It's free, and I really, really need to see those numbers so I know who's watching my videos, so I can make more of the same videos. And as ever, thank you for watching.